Well, there's a new IPO that opens in the markets tomorrow, and I'm talking about TCNS Clothing IPO. The IPO compromises of about 1.57 crores through an OFS route, compromising up to 25.63% of equity in the capital. It's a divided house on whether or not this is a subscribe for investors. So we have with us Mrinalini Chetty, research analyst of Centrum Broking, joining in. Mrinalini, TCNS is a pure play on branding opportunity in the $6.5 billion ethnic women wear segment. Branded segment, I know, contributes 23%, and it's growing at about 30% CAGR in comparison to the industry, which is growing at 10%. All of it on the face of it looks great, but valuations, I believe, look stretched. So near-term gains may be limited, you think?
Hi, good morning. Yes, I feel in the near term, there could be a little bit of, impact for this company. So, that's why we've given it a long-term subscribe for this issue. Because if you see the valuations on a PE basis, post-dilution on a FY18 basis, it comes to 44.8 times. And this is versus the average industry composite or, closely comparable listed peers, which stands at around 51.9 times. So, yes, the valuation seems a little stretched at the moment. But, on a long-term perspective, given the company's, growth prospects, it looks good on a long-term basis.
Right. Mrinalini, I know the company has an advantage of low competition and has posted an impressive CAGR of 54% between FY13 and FY17 and is trebling its own store network since 2013. But how sustainable is this? I mean, this kind of growth, do you think could continue going ahead? Largely because at the end of the day, it's still a very limited audience they're targeting, right?
So see, if you see the women ethnic wear play, where the company is concentrating on at the moment, currently this is around a $1.4 billion kind of market that this company has. And rightly, as you said, it's going via its three brands of, W, Orala and Wishful. And they are trying to, sort of build up their brand portfolio by targeting a specific wear for women. So I feel, in terms of that category what they have placed themselves in, going forward it could look good for them. It would be a very good opportunity for them.
Mrinalini, are you concerned or questioning the high gross margin of about 63%? I mean, this is despite their own stores drawing only about 30% of revenue. Isn't that a sort of a risk when one needs to consider before investing in a TCNS?
So if you see, as we've already seen, like for this company, in terms of the change in accounting standard that came into play from IGAAP to Ind AS. So this company has certain non-cash items, in terms of share-based payments for ESOPs. So if you see on a reported basis, that's what's impacting, the company on an operating level, which is getting boiled down to the profitability. But I think going forward, once, these transactions have got into a good amount of trend, it would be beneficial for them.
Right.
So you won't see that kind of big hit on the books for them.
So very lastly, just to recap that for our viewers, Mrinalini, what are the risks that are involved with TCNS's business model? And also, if you can just once again highlight what the price target is and what do you recommend for a short-term and a long-term investor to do with this IPO?
For us, investing in this IPO would be for a long-term basis. Why? Because, this company is looking at exclusive business outlet models that this company is looking at, which is a franchisee-based model, which, looks at low capex requirements for this company. And, in terms of cash flow positive that this company can get, it's like, around 18 months. So going forward, I feel, on the balance sheet, if you see, it's already a debt-free company. And, that it has cash and equivalents of around 50 odd crores, and it also has positive free cash flow positions at the moment. So on a long-term basis, this could look like a good IPO.
Well, that's the word coming in, Mrinalini. Good talking to you. That's TCNS. The IPO opens. Short-term, of course, the upside could be limited. Valuations are being questioned. But for a long-term investor, this seems to be a subscribe from Centrum Broking. In the meantime, the markets are looking too bad. So, of course, low crude prices given us all the support that we needed this morning. 10,971, 35-point high.